And I'm TREY SERNA. The Supreme Court has ruled that President Biden can end the Remain in Mexico policy. But how will that affect our southern border? Find out straight ahead. Our team coverage begins this hour with First Warn 5 meteorologist Cecilia Gutierrez. Now, Cecilia, good morning. So you were there just days after this tornado hit. You're there back a year later. What's it looking like out there? I'm imagining it's a lot to take in this morning. If you're a Brownsville Public Utilities customer and if you get a call from someone saying they're going to disconnect your service unless you pay up over the phone, don't do it and hang up. That's the advice from the company. It's shaping up to be a big day in court. Now, we're expecting closing arguments in the punishment phase of the Victor Godinez trial. So before you go, as we've reported, the new rules apply to non-citizens who are fully vaccinated. Have you seen anyone turned away since you've been there? Hey guys, well, September is National Preparedness Month. It's a time used to remind community members of the importance of being prepared in case of an emergency or natural disaster. Time now 6:37. The updated approved COVID vaccines are on the way to the Valley this morning, but there's a difference this time around that you need to know about. School safety has been at the forefront, especially since the tragedy in Uvalde. And over the summer, schools made a lot of safety changes. This morning, my co-anchor Sandra Rodriguez is live at Port Isabel High School. So Sandra, the first day is always exciting, but this morning, when students show up, they're going to immediately see a lot of safety changes, right? Yesterday, I actually heard from Meadow Lakes, and they told me that Charlie did very well on his first day of training, that he was very receptive to everything. So we're actually going back on Wednesday, and we'll bring an update to everyone on Thursday to show y'all how Charlie's been doing.
Oh, Charlie.
My little Charlie. But you were talking specifically about how there's a situation here in the Valley when people buy land, especially in rural communities, and kind of how they have to get service there. How does that work?
Exactly.
But in May 2018, I was working for a school district up in Houston after the Santa Fe school shooting. And when that happened, there was an array of threats after that, leading up to the end of the school year, during the summer, and into the next school year. And what a lot of students don't realize, right now we see all the threats going on right now here locally in schools getting canceled. And they think it's funny spreading those rumors on social media, but it's against the law. Talk to me about what the biggest misconception is of drag and what you want people to kind of know about it.
Yeah.
And you said it beautifully earlier. And when speaking of finding them homes on your website, you can scroll through and see their bios and their pictures and whatnot. But I think a big misconception that people have is you get on the website and you can just, you know, pick one out and whatnot. But there's actually an extensive application process, correct? If you want to apply to any of these jobs, make sure to get a pen and write down that number that you're going to see at the bottom of each graphic. You'll need that number for the Workforce Solutions website to find this job posting. So first off, we're going to start in FAR. They're looking for a customer service representative. The pay for this job is between $10 to $15 an hour. And again, that number that you need is right there, 15 10 49 61. But there's some people who have an argument that say that, oh, she was more famous after she died because of, you know, how she died. It was so tragic. But that performance right there at the Houston Astrodome, it was record-breaking.
Yes.
The attendance. So she was huge before. And like Cassandra just mentioned, county commissioners tell us that the details of those public comment meetings will be coming out soon. When they do, we'll let you know. First, in our final half hour this morning, a live view from our Westaco Sky 5 camera. A lot of you waking up to a lot of fog out there, but not right here in Westaco. Tracking the latest on that fog is First Warn 5 meteorologist Cecilia Gutierrez. And you were telling us all morning long that the good news is, though, it's going to burn off eventually as the winds pick up, right? Yesterday was a beautiful day, and today is going to be much of the same, just slightly warmer. Starting off temperatures in the 60s this morning, and as the sun's coming up, those temperatures are slowly starting to climb, and they're getting into the 70s now. Winds are also out of the south, and that's actually contributing to the warmer temperatures throughout the day and into this weekend. They were out of the north a few days ago. And if you're not familiar how to use a QR code, it's really, really easy. You don't need to download anything. You don't need a special app. All you have to do is get your phone and open your phone's camera app. This movie is supposed to put an end to the decades-long chase between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, but many Halloween fans, including myself, are taking that with a grain of salt. Now, I've been following all the vloggers on YouTube that have been reviewing the movie without spoilers, but they're really upset.
Is that good?
They're upset that they're upset that basically they introduced a new main character in the movie. They really are going to end with Laurie. They're going to end Laurie Strode, but they introduced a new main character, and they don't like the direction where that went. There wasn't enough Michael in the movie, apparently. And yeah, I was about to say, if you don't like kale, try this out. I saw it on TikTok, but put it on a pan, bake it with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and it comes out crispy. And I'm telling you, it's, as you would say, it's a vibe. You know, the murals in downtown Harlingen on 8th Street near Jackson Street, you can go check it out for yourself. It's in a good part of town, too. It's a really nice area because downtown Harlingen has seen so many changes over the years, a lot of local businesses there, and they usually close down the streets on the weekends and have market days and local businesses coming out, and you can go shop local and see some really cool art, take some good selfies and all that good stuff. So, and Pilar's story really stood out to me because she told me, she's like, she didn't have like an aha moment. She didn't have this drive of, I'm a businesswoman, I'm going to make this business happen. It just happened by chance. Good morning, Rio Grande Valley. We are breaking into programming to bring you special coverage of SpaceX's third launch attempt. We are live this morning in Port Isabel. I'm here with First 15 meteorologist Sergio Puente. Sergio, we've been out here all morning long. We know that SpaceX got permission from the FAA to blast off again. That's why we are here this morning. But the big question is the weather. We've been talking about this. I don't know if you can hear it at home. It's a very, very windy morning. How will this impact potentially this liftoff? Well, Sandra, I know earlier this week you were out here to kick off the KRDV Cares Closet campaign. We're out here this morning because today is the last day of this campaign, but there's still plenty of time to donate. We'll get into that in just a bit, but if you're just tuning in this morning and you're for the first time hearing the KRDV Cares Closet campaign, you're wondering, what is this? It's a very simple initiative with a very big impact. So all week long, we've been teaming up with South Texas Health System to raise money for children who are in the hospital. What would you say to parents or the community members who are not happy with the district's response? How can their voices be heard?
Now, if a bus stops on a road like this, traffic in both directions must come to a stop. Now, this is where there's an exception to the rule. On a road like this, where it's divided by a median or a barrier.
School is back in session, and kids are not connecting to their teachers by phone or by their computer.
We're here in Mercedes outside Borderland Hardware Store, and we're going to go inside to show you all the supplies that you should be putting in your hurricane preparedness kit. Let's go.
Right now, we're looking at a total of more than $200, and we're not done.
Ron, another important thing to mention, the dogs and cats may look really cute to viewers at home, but it's also really, really important to remind people that before they go to adopt, to make sure that they're ready for a dog and cat, because it's a lot of responsibility, and we certainly don't want to see any of them back at shelters or even worse, on the streets.
They sound similar, but they mean two completely different things. I talked to Danny Castillo. He's the Director of Emergency Management and School Safety at Harlingen CISD, and he says that there was so much confusion over those two terms that the foundation made some changes.
These days, a lot of us do our reading on our devices, but one Harlingen couple wants to get us off of our devices and our heads into some books. Welcome to the Reading Turtle in Harlingen. Well, we're here in San Juan at the PSJA High School. It's one of the many locations actually for Operation Lone Star. Now, Operation Lone Star is a program that offers medical and dental services all for free. The once busy streets of New York, now practically empty. These pictures taken and given to us by Brittany Parnell. She was born and raised in Houston, graduated from Chamberlain College of Nursing, and has been working at Houston Methodist for about 4 years now. That's where she first came in contact with COVID-19 by a coworker who tested positive.
And bigger they went. They then headed over to the McAllen Convention Center and stayed there up until 2019. But then, in 2020, our world changed. The COVID-19 pandemic forcing this event, like everything else, to go virtual. By 2021, the event was back to in-person at the Harlingen Convention Center. By the following year, they moved again. The days that followed were met with even more protests. Then, a year later, on June 28, 1970, the first gay pride marches took place in cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco.
Mount Calvary Christian Church is one of the only affirming churches here in the Valley.
Jessica is the pastor of the church in La Feria. Like many in the Valley, she grew up in a faith-based family.
As I grew up older, I realized that there was something different about me. I just didn't know what. And again, not being able to really explore those feelings, I kind of rebelled against the church.
But at 34 years old, Jessica's faith brought her back to the church looking for some answers.
I had a daughter at that time, so as a single parent, I really needed to find something more clarity and peace within my life.
She's talking about this book, Raspas con mi Grandpa.
Eliza got inspiration for her book from her family, friends, and this shop right here in McAllen. How long have you been coming to Tacole?
Well, actually 50 years, because I started with them back when they were in Tom Landry Street.
Since you've been coming here so long, obviously you bring your family. It's been like a family tradition, you were telling me, right?
It's been a family tradition.
I was asking the lady over there, if you had to recommend, I've never eaten at Tacole. If you had to recommend one dish, what would you recommend?
Oh.
What's your favorite dish? I found this 956 Texas Cube rub at this HEB right here in Westaco. But Lou tells me that you can find his rubs all over the state of Texas in more than 220 HEB stores. I'm TREY SERNA, and these are your 5 top stories of the day. Brownsville police need your help. They're looking for this man, Eduardo Ramon Guarda. Well, the book has gotten so much attention that one Valley City wanted to honor her with her own special day. Eliza Garza is this week's Made in the 956.
And in Mission, there's a special election for the Place 3 City Council member position. And these are the 2 polling locations that are open. Election day is this Saturday. It's going to be another cloudy day across the valley. Highs will be in the low to mid 70s. We warm up more later this week. After News in 60. Have a great day. If you follow me on social media, you know that I've been covering the circumstances around Britney Spears for a long while now. Her new tell-all book comes out next week, but parts of it have leaked.
The little sleeve on the inside was kind of interesting. It starts off by talking about that June 2021 court date when her conservatorship got lifted and how she told the world what was going on.
So I remember back in the early 2000s, I used to log on to AOL with dial-up, and I used to log on to Perez Hilton's blog. It was huge at the time, especially for celebrity photos. Now remember, this was before social media. But during the most current Texas legislative session, there was more than 100 anti-LGBTQ plus bills and more than 25 that were currently making their way through at the time this article was written. And more recently, this happened. Someone painted over the rainbow crosswalk in Brownsville. This year, I'm jumping on the 5 on the 5 initiative and you can't too. It's really simple. So on May 5th, call a friend or loved one and simply ask them, how are you feeling? They actually rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome pugs that are desperately in need. So if you're looking for a way to give back this year, consider donating to Pug Hearts of Houston. They do great work and you can find out more information on their website.
I started my nonprofit organization, the Lakers Guild Foundation, in order to, like I said, do exactly what was that, for those shells to be seen and heard during a time where we were forgotten.
We are on the hunt for the best fried chicken sandwich in America, and we need your votes.
DJ, where you at?